According to the CDC, the leading cause of unintentional deaths for a child between 1 and 4 is drowning. And it's the second leading cause of deaths for children ages 5 to 9.
Children, sadly, drown in America too often. A recent case in Suffolk has 10 on your side asking, could that drowning in a retention pond have been prevented? 6-year-old Mason Sheets died in March when he chased the ball he was playing with into a retention pond across the street from his home.
Andy Fox did some digging and found out that pond was not up to state standards.
Yeah, Nicole and Chris, the Suffolk Public Works Director tells us that pond would have to meet higher standards to get approval today in Suffolk. Even so, there is no requirement to make it safer by putting up a fence.
It's horrible. It's the worst pain I have ever felt and what my husband's ever felt in the world.
Horrible pain for the mother of 6-year-old Mason Sheets, who drowned in this retention pond in March.
My son didn't go in there because he wanted to play. He was trying to get his ball out.
Just 500 yards away, this retention pond has an aesthetically pleasing fence that can stop a ball. It has a fence because it's next to a playground, but not where Mason drowned, even though this pond sits in the middle of a neighborhood full of children. This is the pond where Mason died. It no longer meets state regulations. I should be able to walk out 10 feet and the depth should only be 6 inches. Let's see what happens. It's already more than 6 inches right here on shore, but that's 3 feet here. This is 6 feet, and this is 9 feet. It should be 6 inches. It's a lot more than that. This pond could not be built like this today using current state regulations. That shallow water area is known as a safety bench and became part of accepted state design regulations in 2014.
If they're not going to bring it up to code, then put a fence around it.
Suffolk Public Works Director Eric Nielsen not convinced fences are needed around retention ponds.
Is a 4-foot fence really going to stop somebody who is determined to get on the other side? And a lot of people argue it's not. The other thing, it makes maintenance more difficult to try and get lawnmower equipment in there, in and out, and then you've got to edge around the fence.
Those are excuses to not get it done. What about the reasons to have it up? I think those outweigh the inconveniences of weed whacking around the fence. Really, that's our argument.
In Suffolk and all over Hampton Roads, retention pond fences are not required. They aren't even encouraged.
We're going off the DEQ rules with regards to stormwater and ponds.
Nielsen is right. The State Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ, that controls retention ponds, states in design specifications, fencing of the perimeter of wet ponds is discouraged. Drew Hammond of DEQ would only do a phone interview. We wanted to know why DEQ discourages communities from putting up fences.
Basically, what I would say is the department in no way, shape, or form is discouraging fencing.
But that's what it says.
That's in that specification.
We kept pushing Hammond. Why discourage fences?
The statement regarding the discouragement of fencing has actually been taken out of that design specification.
You know what played a part in the DEQ reversal? Public comment. We also asked Hammond, what's the difference between fences required around swimming pools, but not a retention pond that's just feet away?
We require fences around the swimming pool. How come we don't require fencing around retention ponds?
And I can't comment on that, Andy.
No comment on that from DEQ. But Pinky Sheets has lots to say on that.
Putting a fence up, I think, is a step in the right direction. I wish so. I wish it didn't happen to us. But it did. This is where we are. Moving through life, -1.
Now, the only locality we could find that requires fences around newly constructed retention ponds is in, of all places, Fairfax County. And they've done so since the 1980s. As for the pond where Mason died, the Homeowners Association will meet May 19th to consider an increase in the assessment to pay for a new fence. We are told longshoremen union members have also put up matching funds to help pay for the fence around a pond that no longer meets current state safety standards that you just saw in this report. I'm Andy Fox, 10 on your side.